Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev Extra. My name is Big Boy Trev, and today it's all about reports that Volkswagen are actually planning to replace the Tiguan Allspace with the Tyrone SUV that's built exclusively in China. Well, Tyrone, it sounds like a funny American male name. However, this particular vehicle has been built exclusively in partnership with Volkswagen and FAW. Now, according to Volkswagen CEO, Mr. Thomas Schaefer, he mentioned that the Chinese build model is planned for 2024 launch in the European market and will serve as one of the last models powered by internal combustion engines to enter into the continent, pioneering the new energy vehicles for the next decade. Now, this particular vehicle actually went in sales in 2018, meaning it is still a relatively fresh model in the growing lineup of Volkswagen SUVs. Similar to the Tiguan, which were replaced around the world, the Tyrone is underpinned with the MQB platform, which would endow its familiar driving characteristics to the Tiguan and Tiguan Allspace owners. Inside, the Tyrone is unmistakably VW, with the aesthetics of the German manufacturer manifesting itself in this Chinese-built model. Now, according to recent reports, the Tiguan Allspace may be put to rest, with the Tyrone serving as a replacement that will be positioned above the next generation model, but also below the facelifted Touareg. Manufacturing in China will presumably continue for the local market. However, the vehicle in question may be offered in Europe and is rumored to be built in Wolfsburg from 2024. Now, considering it may be offered to the global markets, and with Kenya being a beneficiary of the Tiguan and the Tiguan Allspace, there's a strong possibility that this particular vehicle might make it to the Kenyan shores. And since Volkswagen is not in a position to actually give us a full statement, but in due time we do expect that this particular vehicle might be landing by the end of the year or early next year. Now, for those who do not know, the Volkswagen Tiguan and Tiguan Allspace are actually assembled at the KVM facility in Thika. Now, this particular investment shows the promise that Volkswagen has for this region, for the sub-Saharan market. And of course, they have built other similar models, including the T-Cross, which is very popular, the Caddy, and of course, the Big Boy, the Touareg, which is now available. So make sure you catch Cars with Big Boy Trev for the exclusive reveal of all matters Volkswagen, and of course, we're going to give you a lowdown on the upcoming trip that I'm going to attend, a big launch in South Africa for the new Volkswagen Amarok. Stay tuned to Cars with Big Boy Trev.
Now, this is the key to Nissan Navara single cab pickup, and the price is starting from Kenya shillings 4.5 million. Do you reckon this is your next single cab pickup? We start this particular review by taking a look at the design of this particular product, and I can tell you Nissan's design team has been stretched to this particular single cab workhorse, which is actually a 4x4, by the way. So what does it have in terms of style and design? We start by taking a look at the front profile. As you can see, we've got this heavily designed butch aesthetic look. First of all, it starts with the trapezoidal lamps that illuminate the road as you traverse the beautiful country of Kenya, because this particular pickup is used for last mile connectivity from the distributor to the retail. This is the one for you. So the lights allow you to see very clearly. You have an option of fog lamps that comes as standard in this particular pickup. Look at that trapezoidal grille as well. You've got this honeycomb design with the words Nissan emblazoned on it, again giving this car some je ne sais quoi. So they've actually used a plastic black bumper from the grille all the way to the lower lip to ensure that this particular vehicle remains rugged and of course can take on the rough and tough of the Kenyan terrain. So well designed, very beautiful, butch and athletic. Clamshell bonnet, as you can see here, as well the subtle designs. You can tell this is not trying to stretch quite a number of things. You have this V motif design on the grille, and of course not forgetting on the lower bumper you do also have areas where you can actually latch on quite a number of few things here. If you want to be towed or towed, this particular vehicle is very capable. I love the slanting windscreen. It allows for aero efficiency. So fuel efficiency in this particular product is extremely important. So what do I mean by that? So if you have a slanting windscreen, it means it's very fuel efficient, and of course it slices through the wind like hot knife through butter, and of course you're able to save quite a lot of fuel courtesy of this 2.5 liter turbo diesel engine. We're gonna find out much later how it performs on and off-road. Now let's talk about the subtle differences. As you can see here, well designed, well appointed exterior, looks very good, looks many mean. But the biggest question still remains, how good is the side profile? Let's move to the side profile and have a look at the design of this Nissan Navara single cab. Move to the side profile, and I can tell you the design theme runs across from the front. You've seen those subtle edges, those athletic stunts coming around to form this particular area. On the front fender, you can see there's some slight bulge over here, and of course they are merging with the plastic bumper to give this car some je ne sais quoi. One thing I love about this particular vehicle is ground clearance. You can see the massive ground clearance courtesy of these 16-inch rims, and these tires actually still are very strong and durable and can take on the rough and tough of Kenya. And of course they are actually 16 by 205, and they give you maximum ground clearance regardless of where you're going. So if you are somebody who wants to transport goods from point A to B, that's my connectivity, and you're wondering if the roads are good, if in Kitengela or Rongai, then this particular Nissan Navara single cab 4x4 perhaps could be your next pickup. We move to where the magic happens. This is the passenger cell. This is where the driver and co-driver sit and spend a lot of their time. So of course you expect Nissan to have done a lot to ensure that, number one, there's a lot of light that gets in courtesy of these large mirrors and windows, and of course you have these mirrors which are actually large and can actually show you the whole area. The minimal blind spots as well, and of course you can be able to reverse and do quite a number of things with this particular Nissan Navara single cab pickup. I love the subtle design on the doors as well. Not too overly done, but you can tell that they've thought about every single thing to ensure that this particular pickup is very smooth and very easy on the eye in terms of design. The most important and critical area of this Nissan Navara single cab is the loading area. Now Nissan claims that this loading area is the largest and deepest in the market. What do I mean by that? So most single cab pickups are actually rated at 1 ton. This one is rated at 1.2, meaning if you are a businessman, you can carry an extra 200 kgs, which means less trips, which means more savings for you, more money in your pocket. And of course, the customization of this particular load area is fantastic. Number one, Nissan have actually included a load liner to prevent rust from rushing through the load area. Number two, you can customize it to taste and preference. So if you are carrying sensitive goods, you can actually have a full canopy covering this whole area. Number two, if you only want to carry things that are not exceeding the level of the load area, you can have a tonneau cover. If you have refrigerant stuff, maybe cold foods or drinks, you can carry that as well. And of course, the name of the game is practicality. Nissan have thought about ensuring that you can move cargo in and out quite easily, even from the side. You have a side step which is a fast for many pickups as well. And of course, the matters also move as you move towards the back. Plenty of tie-down hooks to secure your cargo. And of course, as you move towards the back, you can see the amount of wheel travel. Ground clearance is fantastic, especially for this one is a 4x4. It's a single cab 4x4, so there's plenty of room. The high profile tires also provide comfort and of course ground clearance, and ensures that your goods reach your destination. If you're in Rongai, Ngong or Athi River, this one be able to take care of you. And even if you're in the rougher and tougher parts of Kenya, this is the Shuja of the road. Let's move to the back and have a look at the quality of this particular design of the Nissan Navara. So as you can see on the rear profile, all the design elements merge to form this unique traditional style of a pickup. You can see the rear door as well has the words Nissan emblazoned on it, and of course the reflectors, which is a requirement to drive this particular vehicle on Kenyan roads. And not only that, you also have an option of a bumper, and of course you can see it's well hidden to ensure that anybody who's driving this particular car can see. I love the large lights, so you do also have this large reflector lights that allows you to see both night and day. Anybody who's following you can actually see if you're braking or reversing or actually taking a signal left or right. And of course, if you want to have your cargo down, then you do also have space to put stuff in and out. So access, getting into the load area is very easy courtesy of this easy to open rear tailgate. And of course, the tailgate can support close to 160 kilograms with ease. And think about every single thing. You can actually customize this area if you have tie-down hooks, if you have a socket, if you have stuff that you need to carry. This one actually allows you to do that and much more. So how is the design from the interior perspective? Let's move to the inside of this Nissan Navara single cab pickup. So we are in the cabin of the Nissan Navara single cab 4x4, and I can tell you, because your driver and co-driver will be spending a lot of time in this particular cabin, they've made sure that it feels very homely, very passenger-like. So we start this particular interior design by taking a look at the dashboard. Of course, Nissan have employed that forward cab design. Basically, the dashboard is placed further away from the driver and passenger to create an illusion of space. This is the same dashboard you probably find in the 4x4 version of this particular vehicle, the double cab. So they've thought about making sure that it looks very pleasant. I love the smoothness and the V-motive design that Nissan have employed, but the highlight of this particular pickup is the center console. There's nothing too much fancy over here, but you also have a very good audio system by Sony, so you can actually play your music via Bluetooth, connect either using auxiliary, and of course you can pair your phone on the higher spec of this particular vehicle. There's plenty of space here. As you can see, you can actually put your cell phone right here and many other things, maybe your wallet, your keys, whatever it is that you need. In terms of vents, there are plenty. There are like 6 vents that I've counted. So if you're in Mombasa and you want cold air, you crank on the AC, and of course to cool the cabin quite easily. And as you can see, it's a rotary design, so you have both speed and ventilation, and of course you can toggle through the different settings, from having the air coming to the front area, legs, and the windscreen, and of course defrosting, which comes as standard in this particular Nissan Navara. Not many pickups have AC, so this is actually a big step up in terms of having a practical workhorse that also has very good cabin quality. Now let's move to the lower part of this particular center console. You also have a space for 12-volt socket, and of course you do also have the switch on the fly 4x4, which also is in this particular variant of the Nissan Navara single cab. So basically you can toggle down through 2-wheel drive or 2WD. That is used for highway driving, so the diff disengages from all the 4 wheels to the rear wheel, so that you have good fuel efficiency. For high, very important when you have traction, and you need traction on high speed. So if it's raining, you click on 4 high. Then if you run out of talent and you get stuck in mud, then you push, and you can do that in 4 low. Then it will also modulate the amount of power going to the 4 wheels. And of course, this particular vehicle allows you to explore that capability at speeds of under 80 kilometers. So you can switch on the fly very easily, courtesy of this particular system. Now we move to the gearbox console as well. You have a 6-speed manual transmission. I like calling this the millennial anti-theft device. Not many people know how to drive a manual car. This is a 6-speed manual, so it allows you to explore that full potential of that 2.5 liter speed manual transmission, which I normally refer to as the millennial anti-stock theft device. Allows you to explore the full potential of that 2.5 liter turbo diesel engine and give you good fuel economy of roughly 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is very good considering this particular vehicle can do about 80 liters. So if you multiply that, close to 600 kilometers of distance when you're traversing through the beautiful country or county of Nairobi or Kenya. So very good in terms of efficiency. You have a cup holder as well to secure your cup when you have some coffee in early mornings. Of course, there's plenty of space here. You can also put your keys or your cell phone. Now this is a bench seat. Remember, the old pickups used to have a bench seat, so the driver and passenger have a bench seat right here, just to ensure that anybody can carry it. It's a 2-seater, not 3, but you can actually sit somebody in case they insist. But it's a 2-seater, very comfortable. I love the design. It's economic enough. You have headrests as standard as well. We move to the instrument pinnacle as well. This is where the magic happens. I love the italics. So the graphics are very clear. So on the left hand side, you have the tachometer, which shows you the engine revolutions per minute. And of course, the right hand side is the speedometer. And in between, you have a monochrome display that gives you quite a number of things: range, temperature, fuel efficiency, or if any doors are open. So it gives you vital information as you traverse the beautiful country of Kenya. I love the steering wheel as well, very comfortable. It's got tilt and telescopic design, so basically you're able to adjust the steering wheel based on your preference as well. And of course, it's a 3-spoke design. You don't have different satellite buttons, but that's because the vehicle is a bare bones standard vehicle that only is used to carry stuff from point A to B. And I love the fact that they've thought about making sure that there's plenty of cubbyholes and spaces. This is a pickup, so you'll find large door bins on both sides as well. And of course, you also have different buttons that are blank in case you need to add accessories in this particular vehicle. I love the seating as well. I'm 6'1". This vehicle has been adjusted to my height, and I can tell you driving this car is very comfortable, very easy. Minimal A-pillars as well to prevent blind spots as well. I can see all around. The mirrors are large. And of course, you do also have side and curtain airbags that comes as standard in this particular vehicle. But so ladies and gentlemen, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, it's all about the Nissan Navara single cab with the 4x4 option. So we know this particular vehicle is used for delivery of goods and services from point A to B, and of course it gives you value for money in terms of fuel efficiency, practicality, and so much more. But we want to find out the DNA. This engine, what is it made of? So up front you do have, a known 2.5 liter turbo diesel, 16 valve that produces 125 kilowatts and 403 Newton meters of torque, 403 on a single cab, which, by the way, if you put your foot down and you have to accelerate, it just gives you enough grunt to push this particular vehicle and haul 1.2 tons quite easily, courtesy of a 6-speed manual transmission. So if you're a millennial, you do not drive a manual vehicle, then you simply can't enjoy this one. But for those who understand how to drive a manual vehicle, there's so much fun, because this particular gearbox allows you to explore the full potential of the engine, and of course it turns you a fuel economy figure of roughly 6.5 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is also actually very good. And of course the tank is 80 liters, so if you do the math, you drive comfortably, you can do easy 600 kilometers without stress. That is going to Nairobi to Mombasa and still have some fuel to run around. So very good vehicle for driving actively and pushing it very easily. Now the chassis as well, it's built on the Nissan Navara chassis. You've also seen it on the double cab, so it has very, very good road holding capabilities. It's a box on ladder. Of course up front you have double wishbones. At the back you have tapered disc springs. The wishbones allows you to have a front feel. You can tell what the vehicle is doing at any given time, and of course at the back, apart from comfort, helps you haul 1.2 tons without stress. So they have thought about every single thing, making sure this particular pickup is practical enough. And this is a 4x4 version, so you can imagine with added ground clearance, this one has what it takes to be your next pickup, single cab. So if you're in the market shopping, perhaps you should visit these guys and have a look at what they have in store. Now, in terms of active and passive safety features, active features are the ones that prevent you from having an accident, and of course this vehicle is loaded with tons of them, from electronic stability program to ABS, EBD, which is electronic brake force distribution, and of course brake assist. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the 5-star rated passenger cell rating, which actually has been given to this particular vehicle. You've got 4 airbags as standard, and of course crumple zones to dissipate impact energy away from the cabin to ensure that you and your driver remain safe while in the Nissan Navara single cab. So safe, practical, very easy to use. But can you do a bit of off-roading? Let's move to an off-road section and see what it can do in terms of 4x4 capability, courtesy of Cars with Big Boy Trev. So we've taken this particular vehicle on tarmac. We've seen it's got good manners, but the question is, how good is it off-road? So this particular vehicle is based on the Nissan Navara hardened chassis that is built for Africa. So the chassis understands Africa and is very, very easy to drive. But the question is, how capable is the hardware? We start with the engine and gearbox. So how capable is the hardware? We start with the engine. Now the engine is a 2.5 liter turbo diesel that produces 125 kilowatts and 403 Newton meters of torque. And of course, power sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of a 6-speed manual with a transfer case. So you've got 2-wheel drive, that is for highway driving, and of course fuel efficiency. Then there's 4 high and 4 low. So 4 high and 4 low are used in different scenarios. So for example, you are driving in an area where the surface is slippery, then you can engage 4 high. But if you run out of talent and get stuck in mud, then you can actually toggle through the switch from 4 high to 4 low at speeds of below 80 kilometers an hour. Then the traction will be modulated quite easily. Now, all that power is able to be modulated, and of course working with traction control allows you to literally get yourself out of the rut. Now, in terms of ground clearance, this particular vehicle has a good ground clearance of 203 millimeters, weighting depth of about 700 millimeters, which is actually very nice. And of course, angle of departure, brake over, and of course all these are very suitable for a 4x4 pickup. So it's very capable, I can tell you. Double wishbones as well to ensure that you can tell where the nose is pointing. At the back you have tapered disc springs to ensure that you have good ride clearance, and of course you can carry heavy stuff quite easily in this particular vehicle. But the biggest question still remains, can it do a bit of off-roading? Yes, if you are in Kitengela or at the river or Rongai or even any other places that requires your attention in terms of 4x4, it can do all that. But it's time for us to do value for money. You reckon this is the next 4x4 single cab pickup for you? Let's head out and do value for money. So that has been the review of the Nissan Navara single cab 4x4. What do I love about it? I love the design. That butch Nissan style design actually grows on you every time you come close to this particular pickup. I love the engine performance. That strong 2.5 liter turbo diesel gives you a lot of grunt. I love the 4x4 hardware, which allows you not to get stuck depending on any surface. And of course, the practicality and the safety and the space of this particular pickup. But the biggest question still remains, would you pick this over the rivals? We start this particular review by taking a look at the Kirinyaga Road analysis as why this could be your next single cab pickup. We start with the price. This particular vehicle is sold and serviced by Klein along Mombasa Road, and of course it comes at a price of 4.8. However, I've been told that this particular vehicle is on offer at 4.5 million Kenya shillings and comes with a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, whichever comes first. Plus, you can rely on Klein Motors' extensive network across the country to maintain this particular vehicle. Coast to coast, Mombasa to Kisumu, Nyeri, Meri, Embu, all these places, you can actually maintain this particular pickup. But we know that this particular pickup exists in a space where there's so much competition. Who are the key rivals in this particular segment? We start with the Toyota Hilux, the Isuzu D-Max, and of course, you also have the Ford Ranger. Then you can also go to the Chinese as well. We did the P-Series single cab the other day. We've also done the Mahindra single cab and many others in this particular category. Based on that, would you pick this over the rivals? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you with the feedback next week. We're sending out with Big Boy Trev on behalf of the team. Alam Siki and drive safe.